Hey there, geeks! Adam and Mike back at you with another Wizards Hall video. We haven't done these in a little while. Mike's been at conventions. I've been
Mhm.
doing a bunch of stuff behind the scenes as well. We have a project we're working on that we'll be announcing soon. But in the meantime, we have been grabbing some comics here and there for back issue bins and other things. So let's get into that here. I have a little stack, so I'll get started here. So I was ordering a wizard item, which I'll show at the end, and it
Okay.
was a great price. But then they're like, no, 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 no. It's a great price because you have to order like 5 items or something from that list of great priced items. I was like, oh. So I was like, well, let me just grab some random 90s stuff like Guardians of the
The
Galaxy.
great
Is,
cover.
is this considered Cosmic Ghost Rider? That's what I've always wondered. Because
That's a good
he's actually
question.
Punisher, right? So maybe it's not because Cosmic
No,
Ghost
no, no.
Rider,
You're thinking of a different Ghost Rider. It
oh,
from a Donny Cates line of what book was it? Thanos? It may have been a Thanos series,
oh, okay.
and it was Cosmic Ghost Rider. That is something else.
Okay, that is different. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Also, surprisingly, this is what I had as a kid, and I didn't have now for some reason. Gotta have the Ninjak Chromium cover for Ninjak #1, Joe Quesada, baby. So I was
Yeah.
excited to finally add that in for
A
not
great
very much.
chromium cover. Definitely a good one. Yeah.
Speaking of gimmick covers, Mike, you know
Mhm.
about this one, the infamous bullet hole cover.
Oh, you got it.
I got it. So that one's ready to roll now. Also, these are ones I picked up a while ago. I've shared them on social media, but not on a video. We were talking on an episode all about Batman, Gotham Knights, and remember, I
Mhm.
was spelling it wrong. I couldn't find them, but this is like this. He's got a black and white backup story by Jim Lee, so that was
That's
cool.
a beautiful cover, though.
It really is.
It's
I
very
also grabbed
striking.
this one while I was there. I think this is the first Larry Hama. I could be wrong for all you Batman scholars out there, but this is like one of the very early Larry Hama issues when he takes over Batman
Okay.
in 2000. Also, I grabbed this one just for the cover because it's an Eric Larson cover, but he doesn't do the interiors. He's just this is the period at which he was just writing it, but this is like an alternate reality, this Ages of Apocalypse thing
Okay.
where this is like the new Fantastic Four is still the Fantastic Four, but in a different way. Like Peter Parker doesn't wear his Spider-Man costume at all. It's really fascinating.
That's
So
cool. But is that a Wolverine issue?
yeah, this is an issue of Wolverine during this
Oh,
big crossover. And so
gotcha.
so they just let Eric Larson have some fun, I guess. And it is. It's a really fun, just like one-off issue. Other thing is I saw this in Wizard that we were covering recently, and I was like, oh, we don't have this. It is the first .com release. This isn't a half
What?
issue. This isn't a zero issue. This is from Wizard.com. That's what it's going. This is Alley Cat versus Lady Pendragon. Got its certificate of authenticity and everything right there. So Wizard always looking for the next gimmick, right? A
You know
dot
what?
com.
If you didn't have that certificate, the book doesn't exist.
Of
It's
course. Other thing that I grabbed because I wasn't aware. We're doing a project right now. I'll just say we're researching the history of the Wizard Half comics. It's going to be an exclusive thing. We'll reveal that at a future date. But as part of that, I found out that Top Cow released a half issue that was not Wizard related. This is
Oh,
Fathom Half. If you look like in the corner box, just you can see, but
yeah.
it's not connected to Wizard. And so this is very strange. I was like, were they okay with them doing that? Like that they decided to do their own half issue, or maybe they were reprinting a previous half issue. I gotta look into it more. But I was just like, I gotta have this because
That's
how many
fascinating.
yeah, when were they doing that? Like
Yeah.
other companies. So, final thing here, just like I said, as I was trying to get this book, I ended up, having to grab a couple other 90s books. But this is a Wizard X-Men special from 2003 when X2 was coming out.
Wow.
So this special is just like I there's a lot of fun stuff in here. You got some Twisted Toy Fair Theater.
Is that sorry, is that a Michael Turner cover doing the Frank Quietly interpretations of the character?
Yeah, yeah. So it's Michael Turner, and then there's a photo cover of Hugh Jackman that is actually on the way. So we'll have both variants of this issue
Nice.
when we finally get to it in a couple of years.
That's
It's
great. That's
2003.
great.
We're not there
Yeah.
yet. But anyway, that's my little haul lately. But Mike, I got to see what you got at New York Comic
Okay.
Con.
Well, yeah, this is primary. Yeah, this what this is right here is my New York Comic Con haul. I I have not been buying comics like I have, but there were deals to be had at New York Comic Con. So I got a few. I had to bring a few home. But first, really quick, I just did a uh, a signing just outside of Toronto, and there was a couple long boxes. It was mostly like pop figures and stuff at the signing. There was me and another comic creator, and but I found one booth that had two long boxes, and I went through it, and I was like, there's nothing really that good in here. But I ended up finding Ms. Marvel #1 for $1. I
Wow.
was like, why is this in a dollar bin? And then I kept thinking, is it a reprint? It's not a reprint. It
Not
was
even a
just
reprint. Okay.
no, it was just them purging, I think. Yeah, who
Well, let's
knows?
be
Anyways,
honest. The Marvels did burn up the charts. The Miss Marvel streaming series wasn't anybody's favorite. I enjoyed it, but I don't think it really connected the way they
it
expected.
was my kids' favorite. They rewatched it like 3 times. So
Wow.
hey, I'm excited about this, but whatever. Anyway, so I'll quickly go through and just pick out some highlights, and I'm going to end on what I think is most important. I picked this up from my dad, not Brand X. This is the one issue he was missing.
Oh, nice.
So I'm like really happy when I can. This is primarily $2 bin stuff, which is expensive for me. I'm a 50-cent
I
comic
gotta say, I've
collector.
never seen an issue of Not Brand Echh in the wild. I've always heard about it. It's
Oh,
Marvel's Mad Magazine and all of that, but I've never
yeah,
seen
yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah, my dad loves it. All of these were $2. I'm still like in shock. I don't understand how these places can just dump things into these bins. Okay, really quick, I got Son of Satan #1. You got to get it. It's not his first appearance, but I picked up some Jonah Hex I was missing. Early issues, issue #2, Adam.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, this relates to your Guardians of the Galaxy. I got #1 finally.
Whoa.
Yeah. This was a Donny Cates Venom book I'd been after for a while. What else we got here? Do you remember this series? I'm sure we'll get to
Oh
it
yeah.
in
Yeah, I'm
Wizard.
very interested because that was one of the few things like that I was checking back in with Wizard in that era, and they're like 1602 is coming out. So I was like, oh, gotta read it. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember liking it, but again, it was stolen from my previous collection, and I hadn't been able to find any of them. But I grabbed #1. This looked like something you would like, Adam.
That's
This
awesome.
is Rabbit
Wow,
Girl
yeah.
Zero, the Zero issue. I found the first appearance of Marvel Zombies.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, I had
just
no idea it was an Ultimate Fantastic Four.
oh yeah, yeah. I think their cameo is the previous issue, but like, look at that. Got some zombie Fantastic Four.
Wild.
Again, this was a cool find. I already had it, but it was a CPV. This is I guess the direct edition of the first issue of Justice League.
Oh.
So yeah, okay. Now this was nuts. I'm still confused what they're thinking, but I got all of these Submariner Silver Age books. Look at that.
Yeah,
Issue 2, Adam, for $2. All of these. Like it's crazy.
that's great.
Like this has got to
Um,
be one of the best
yeah,
covers.
now that's what you posted before, and I love that version of Doctor Strange. I remember seeing that in my big Marvel book at one point. I'm like,
Yes,
he had
yeah,
a
yeah.
mask at one point? What?
Anyways, that
Oh,
was
Doc.
that was good finds. And then I do like reprints, and this looked like a great one to have. Issue 1 of that. Oh, this is one I'd been after a while. Are you familiar with Red Wolf?
No, interesting.
Yeah, so this is issue 1 of Marvel
Well,
Spotlight.
that design though looks like a character from Fire and Ice, that animated movie that Frank
Yeah, you're
Frazetta
right.
was involved in. Do you know? Like, I'm wondering who ripped off who. That's what I want to know.
When's Fire and Ice from?
Well, Fire and Ice is so. Uh,
80s though? That's 80s, isn't it?
yeah, it's 80s. I mean, this that
So
would predate it, but I don't know if Frazetta had the design like he used in some.
this
You know,
is a 15 center, so we're talking early 70s.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyways, okay, this is like early appearance of like Darkseid, I think, or something. I forget. Okay, now we're into the last few. Issue 1 of Thunderbolts for
Yeah.
$2. $2, Adam.
That's awesome. Wow.
This is
Especially with the movie coming out and
with the
everything.
movie
Yeah.
coming. I even asked the guy, I was like, was this supposed to be in there? And he's like, hey, everything's $2, man.
I'm sure he's just like, it's been in here for 30 years. Who cares?
Yeah. Okay. And we know in a few weeks we have my David Mack armored comic coming out, which is nearly sold out at the distributor at this point. Like we had a crazy amount of orders after final order cutoff, and I had to pick this up when I was there, and I meant to get him to sign it, and I forgot, Adam. Kabuki half issue. We were just
Yeah.
talking about it. Yeah, and I totally screwed it up, and
I'm
I got
sure you'll run into him again. It's bound to happen.
it's bound to happen. But this was the one I was really excited for. This is one I've been after for a long time. Max half issue.
Yes. Wow. The very first Wizard half issue. That's fantastic.
So you know more than me. Why does it say free?
Well, because their whole thing was all you're paying for is the shipping. That's what Wizard was offering. They're like, you
Oh,
get a free comic, you buy our issue of the magazine, you send this in, all you pay is for shipping and handling.
gotcha.
It was a great
Okay.
deal. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that because it ended up being pretty expensive for Canadians. I remember getting the Flash, and it was like I owed my mom like $10, and I was like, this is not
You know
free.
what's so weird about that Flash one too is like they did a whole run for years and years of half issues and then
Yeah,
they just stopped. And that was like 3 or 4 years after they stopped. They do the Flash half issue, they do like a Project Superpowers half issue, and then they're done. They don't do anymore. It was just like
wild.
they just randomly brought it back. Oh, nobody cares anymore. Okay, I'm assuming we're going to be doing
Meanwhile,
some interviews with Gareb and other Wizard staffers to get the real details behind that. But
that was the only half issue I paid for, like
that's
myself. My
crazy.
dad got a bunch, but I
Well, here's
anyways,
the thing.
that was it. That was my
That was
big
a
haul
great
from
haul
work.
for two
Yeah,
bucks a pop.
I
Yeah.
know. And I got other stuff too, but we don't need to see all of
Yeah.
it.
And I want to
It's mostly
research that
Christmas.
Red Wolf thing. I got to find out about what was going
Okay,
on
yeah,
there.
you find it.
But in the meantime, you and I, we're no longer doing our Wizards Wednesday Rewind YouTube series, but we're still hitting the shops. You got me hooked. We're out there buying new comics. And our last episode of the Wizards Wednesday Rewind here on YouTube, we reviewed Absolute Batman. It really turned my attitude around, just the great storytelling. Still don't like the art, but the question was, how are they going to do with Absolute Superman?
Man, yeah.
So I'm assuming you've also taken a read of this.
Of course, yeah. And I have my copy upstairs. It okay, yeah. Do you want give your opinion
Well, first
and a
off,
description? Yeah.
yeah, the basic description of this book is, yeah, as we know, they're creating a new universe, a new situation for these heroes that we know so well. And in this thing, it's like his dad is not like the high science officer of Krypton. That's not the deal. His dad works in the mines, and like there's all this stuff going on. Like they're kind of like a rural family, the L's or whatever. And the S, on their chest stands for like they're like working class people. They're not high society, So
No
again,
longer hope. No longer
yeah, it
hope.
does not mean hope for sure. And then but it's still kind of a similar thing where like his dad is sort of involved in saying like, hey, we're killing the planet. I'm telling you, by doing all this mining, it's bad for Krypton. Nobody's listening. And then I don't in this issue, did they show how he ended up on Earth though? They did not reveal that
No,
yet, right? No.
not yet. No.
Yeah, they just teased that Krypton was doomed. His dad gets exposed to this kind of radiation leak in the Earth, I guess you would call it.
But
Like,
they also that's kind of the what do you call it? The cliffhanger is
yeah,
that Superman or Kal-El is not sent to Earth
no.
as a baby. He's like a kid. He's a full
Yeah,
on.
is he like a late teenager maybe or like
No, I'd
early
say
young adult?
earlier. Yeah, I think like a tween maybe.
Really? Wait a minute. Let's look at this
Yeah,
art
go
here.
back, go back.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to
You
pull
think
this
he's a
up. So
teenager?
I mean,
Oh
I
no no
was,
no! I'm talking. I'm no no no. I'm
oh,
talking
when
the
he's on
very end.
Krypton.
On
Oh,
Krypton, he's not
yeah,
sent as a baby. He's sent
that's
as a
true.
full
Okay.
child. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But then so that's like the flashback stuff. But what's happening in the current day is he is on Earth and you have this mysterious figure who is out kind of like specifically there's a story of Brazil where there's a mine and these people
Yeah.
are being forced to mine stuff, but it's unsafe and they're not paying them well for what they mine. And he goes and he turns everything into diamonds really fast. And then they have a full cart and the people don't have to mine after all. He just and they say these things have been happening all around the earth. So there's like this mysterious figure that keeps like helping out miners around the world. Obviously, he's got a connection. That's where his dad comes in. But so was there any other piece of it that you feel like is missing other than like the cliffhanger of the like next issue is, and then they tell you what who he's gonna battle.
Well, I have to say, I don't tend to like Superman stories where they focus on Krypton. I actually find it boring.
Hmm,
This book, I liked it more than the present day.
interesting. Okay.
The only thing that got me hooked with the present day is the cliffhanger for that story,
Yeah.
um,
I mean, at
which is
this point,
basically
everybody's read it. We can say
it's
what it is.
Lois. It's Lois is now a like
She's
part
a
of the army.
military
Like
person,
she's
and he's gonna have to
yeah,
face off against
which
her.
her dad was, right? Like
Yeah.
at least in the TV show, he
Hmm.
was. So I find that interesting. That has me. Yeah, I don't think it's. I enjoyed it as much as Absolute Batman, but
No.
it's up there. I think it's good storytelling. I like the the parallels between him working in the mines and Jor-El working in the mines and the flashbacks.
Well, and we do have to say, so with Absolute Batman, a lot of the fun thing about that was the gadgets, right? And like, here's the new take on his utility belt, or just what his whole motif is with his costume and what it can do. In this, there's kind of two things. He has a costume, but it seems to be able to morph. It can change for different scenarios, not like immensely change. It's just like it activates a different part of the suit's capabilities or something, turns a different color at least. But then also, he has some sort of AI robot. Something is like guiding him and mentoring him and warning him and all this stuff. That's like this, like you just see you never see like a representation of it other
Yeah.
than the dialogue boxes.
I like that stuff. The mysteries is what keeps me invested, I
Yeah.
think. And that's like what Absolute Batman did well. I thought it's been a while, but Wonder Woman was kind of missing that or it was missing
Yeah, because
something.
I couldn't find a copy of Wonder Woman. You said you read it, and you just wore it super bowled over.
The art is fantastic, but there was no story to grab me.
Yeah.
Not like these two books. So,
Yeah,
I
so
yeah.
that's what I thought. I thought it was a good, a good effort, and it definitely follows this trend of okay, we're giving you something new, and it's interesting enough that you want to like have the mystery answered, so you buy issue two. They're not giving it all away at the up front or giving you nothing, so you don't know what to hope for.
I'm gonna call it now. The AI is probably Brainiac.
So they do have like one panel, right, where there's like somebody with like a bunch of tubes hooked in and looking at a bunch of
Yeah, but
screens.
I didn't think that was Brainiac. Maybe it is. I thought it was the toy maker because mentioned something about toys.
Interesting. Okay, see, I just thought, oh, that's Brainiac, obviously. Like it just seemed like,
It
but
could
you're
be. He
right. There
had his
is some
brain
like,
exposed. If you look
yeah,
closely, his brain is exposed.
yeah.
So
So I guess we'll find out. We'll
yeah.
see what other twists they have in store for issue two. But yeah, I just thought DC's killing it with Absolute right now. Like I think they got two winners, and maybe the Wonder Woman comes up with something later on, and we get excited about that. But just as of right now, there doesn't seem to be a big hook there.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a little bonus review for you guys for checking out this YouTube video. We haven't done one in a little while, so but we will be back with more. So thank you. Stay subscribed here on Wizards, the Podcast Guide to Comics on YouTube, but also make sure that you're subscribed on all the channels. We are on Blue Sky. We're on X still. We're on Instagram. We're on Threads. We're everywhere you want to be there. We have a Facebook group, so you can join us there and have just a whole separate type of conversation. Everybody's contributing over there, their own thoughts. Of course, if you want to take it to the next level, we have patreon.com/Wizards Comics. I will tell you, in addition to you get a PDF scan of the issue and you get an uncut early release version of every episode as soon as we record it. We just upload it. It is unfiltered. You get it all. That's all there, but also we have 90s Super Cinema where we're reviewing, comic book movies. And this month we have The Crow. That's what our patrons voted on. So you get to vote on which, we'll give you some selections and you decide, and The Crow won out. So if you're interested to get our thoughts on that first Brandon Lee film, and we'll talk a little bit about the sequels as well, you can hop on over to patreon.com/Wizards Comics, $5 a month. It supports the podcast and you get a ton of free and extra bonus content. So again, thank you for checking out this video. And until next time, keep your books bagged and boarded.